Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Black History Facts Podcast. My name is Marshall Bass. Hope everybody's doing good today. Today's message is primarily about resilience and standing your ground, and just knowing your rights as a human being, and not being wavering. In a way. I say this because today's episode is about a lady who was our first African American postmaster general. Her name is Minnie Cox. She was born in 1869. She was born to a small family. She was very, very intelligent at a young age. She completed college at 19. She went to Fisker University, which was basically a HBCU. She did this for a while. She graduated as a teacher, and that's what she liked to do. And she liked to provide, and knowledge and help people, move forward with their life, no matter if you're black or white, no matter what. So as she's teaching at a college, she meets who is at the time, which is the principal of the school. They wind up getting together. They get married, and they move on with their life, and they're doing good. So it was 1891. Our 23rd president appointed her to be the postmaster general. Now, it is argued, that she was probably the best postmaster general that we had in this country. She was very lenient. She wasn't very firm or being out of order with people. During this time, it wasn't really good for black folks, to have that much money or to be able to afford things that they wanted. So people who had P.O. boxes, who had letter boxes, and fell behind on payments and couldn't pay it, she will ultimately pay that, just so that people would be able to have mail. Because at that time, mail was very, very important. It was mainly important because it was the main source of information. Yes, there was newspapers, there was articles that can be read about life in general. But during this time, the mail system was most important. It was the way that you got information. It was the way that things were taught, and this is the way people would speak back and forth through the mail. So in 1901, she decided, because there was no telephones in the post office deemed that it wasn't necessary for them to have one in there, so they didn't spend any money on it. So she went out, she bought herself a telephone for the office so that people who had mail could call and see if mail was coming in for them, or if they had mail, or if there was any issues going on with the post office itself. They can call and talk to her directly. This is something that no one ever did. She had so much compassion for everyone, no matter if you were black or white. So in doing this, she's going through life. She's making life better for a lot of people, and not knowing at the same time. But eventually, people figured out that she was black, and that she held a federal position. So, 1902, this guy by the name of James Vardarum, I probably butchered his name. He was an editor for a newspaper at that time, and he was a known white supremacist. So he wanted to get it out there that he did not want a black person to be in charge of the mail system, because he felt that she could be biased, or she could do something to corrupt the mail system. Now she's had this job over 15 years, and there has been no complaints. nothing but praise for her about doing a great job, even down from the presidents. The president said that she was doing a good job. Everything was going on. She did nothing wrong. Um, but they wanted her out because she was black. So she got death threats. They came to the office. They wrote letters to the president saying that she needs to be removed. They didn't feel safe with a black person being in charge of their mail system. So they really was forcing her out of office. Um, she had another year and a half to go before this started, and she vowed that she's not going nowhere. She's doing her job. Nothing wrong. She hasn't done anything wrong to lose her job. Now at this time, you realize this. So this is in 1902. Okay, the job she was in paid $1,100 a year. Okay, it's a lot of money. In 1902 is a lot of money. Okay, so people didn't want her to succeed. They didn't want her to be in this spot. So ultimately, what happened was they got together, they revolted, and they effectively pushed her out of office. So she sent her letter of resignation to Roosevelt. Now Roosevelt did not take this very kindly because Roosevelt did not like how she was portrayed and how she was pushed to basically resign. So Roosevelt, being Roosevelt, what he did was he said, "Okay, this is what we're gonna do. I'm not going to accept your resignation. I'm not going to accept it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you basically say time off to where things can just cool down and settle down. But at the same time, he was paying her. He kept paying her through this time because he didn't want her, to fall on hard times and fall on hardships because of white supremacists. Now, so when Roosevelt tells this town, so this was in, oh God, Indianola, which is in Mississippi. So Roosevelt tells them, this is what we're going to do. Okay, I need everybody, to calm down, get back in orderly fashion, and we're going to put this lady back in office where she was, and to continue to doing her job as she was always. So they still did not recognize Roosevelt. They still was pushing back against her. So Roosevelt said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to punish this town. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all your mail that you get, and I'm going to send it to another mail carrier 30 miles away for an entire year. Now, you imagine in 1902, traveling 30 miles outside of your town to get your mail was a very big inconvenience. But it was done by Roosevelt because he wanted people to know that he was serious and that he was not backing down from the mistreatment of Miss Cox. Eventually, they kind of gave in because it was like, traveling 30 miles to get your mail for a whole year is not fun. But this is what, they brought on themselves. And I commend Roosevelt for standing firm, not just for her, but for equality, all together. Because he could have just stood by and said, okay, yeah, whatever, and let it go. But he didn't. He fought for Minnie Cox. He fought for her tooth and nail. He made sure that she got paid, even though she wanted to resign because of the pressure that she was getting from white folks. We still paid her. Even when the white supremacists still was marching, against her job, Roosevelt, took everyone's mail from that town 30 miles away and made them go get it then. So this woman went through a lot. You think about it, she was just doing her job effectively at that. She was great at her job. She was spending her own money for the job. The telephone that she installed into the post office came out of her pocket. She paid for it herself. People that couldn't pay for their their mailboxes at that time who fell on hardships. She paid for it out of her own pocket. She did it, you know what I'm saying, from the kindness of her heart because she wanted people to be able to enjoy the mail system and enjoy life and keep moving forward. All right. Um, it's insane that someone had to go through this, of being elected, what I'm saying, to be the postmaster general and then to get ridiculed for doing your job correctly, all because of your skin. She wasn't ridiculed because she messed up or she burnt down some things or she messed up this or this wasn't in place. This wasn't you know what I'm saying, in order. This was nothing like that. Okay, she was doing her job to the best of her abilities, and she was overachieving at all levels. I think this story is important to today's time as well too, because people get discouraged from them working at the job and then working and working and working, and people are trying to just push them out because they don't like the narrative that they represent, or they don't like how they represent themselves. At the end of the day, the most important thing is that you are working a job to provide for your family. And if providing for your family and doing the right thing and making sure that everyone around you is still doing the right thing and being responsible, if that does not please someone and that makes someone look at you differently, then that is something that person themselves have to look into themselves. You yourself, you keep doing what you were doing, what you came to do. You do your job. I always say, you can only do your part. I can't make sure that so and so do this or so. No, you can only do your part, but your part is a very big part. So, this lady, she went through hell and high water to just be good at her job. You know, um, it's sad to say that a president had to step in and basically denounce white supremacy, which is something that our president, our current president, will not do. He has said some stuff in the past, that he's not for all this and he's not for this. But it wasn't like he was saying it, out of his heart. He was saying it because he was trying to get elected. And he was saying things, because, he was trying to appeal to his base. But in my eyes, Roosevelt was a true president. Someone who will fight for you no matter if you're black or white, no matter, where you came from, no matter your nationality, no matter your creed, or no matter how the world perceives you. As long as you did your job, you did it correctly, he was for you and with you. And I think Roosevelt, in my eyes, is one of the best presidents we've ever had. Roosevelt done a lot for this country. Some things that he done are still here to today. So we have to credit Roosevelt for just being an American. Roosevelt was truly American, but Miss Minnie Cox, she didn't cause any problems. She didn't want to make sure that that anyone who threatened her life, she didn't want any revenge. She didn't want to come back and retaliate. None of that. Her main goal was to make sure that everyone was treated fair and treated correctly. Even through the whole time of her having mistreatment, she still felt this way. Miss Minnie Cox, I want to say thank you for your service. Thank you for all that you've done for this country, because we truly need more people like you. Because anyone that in the face of adversity who can get ridiculed for doing her job correctly, who can get ridiculed for making sure that everything is done up to the standards of the United States, and that every American can get and send mail with no problem, or call the office just to make sure that they have mail there. She is responsible for that, and for that I commend her. She's a strong black woman, and she deserves every accolade that comes her way. Now, Miss Minnie, let's see, she was born in 1869. She became postmaster in 1891. Okay, so she was literally 30 years, a little over 30 years old when she got this job. Now remember, she graduated from college at 19. Okay, so she was just teaching at schools and she was working her way up, and then she got recognized by our 23rd president. She became postmaster general. So I think the message that everyone needs to get from this is no matter who is trying to get you from a job that you're in, or if anybody's plotting against you to make you resign or make you quit or make you do something that you don't want to do, even when you're doing the right thing, if things are going according to where they should be going, and people still don't want to see you succeed, best way for that is to show them that you are the best candidate for this job. And at that point, they still can't see that, and they still can't see your worth, and they still can't understand why you ain't in this spot, then that is on them. You did your job. You did what was required of you. And that's all that you can do. Giving your best is all you can do. You did the best that you can do. And if anybody has a problem with you giving your best, that problem is on them to solve, not on you. Don't carry that burden around on you because someone doesn't approve of how you do your job correctly. Okay, it's not fair to you. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it discourage you. None of that. Just keep pushing forward. Keep doing, what you're doing, and make life better for you. Simple as that. All right. I challenge everybody, every day to learn about someone new. Our history should not be just limited to just 28 days, out of the year. That's really the only time that we celebrate or we actually want to look up Black history is during Black History Month. Black history is year round. Black history has never stopped and never will stop. You have to always educate yourself and learn more about what happened in our past and how can we fix it and how can we make sure that this stuff doesn't happen again. Because history will always repeat itself no matter what. And the rate we're going now, we probably have another civil war. We could have another revolt. Like in the revolt of 1811, that's a whole nother ball game. You got these people who were tired of being slaves, who were tired of the mistreatment, and just tired of just being oppressed. This was the opposite of what Minnie Cox did. Minnie Cox was just like she didn't want to do anything with it. She was tired of it. They were like, we're tired of this. But like again, this was 1811. This was before Emancipation Proclamation. So there was a lot of different laws. It was at that point it was illegal to read and write. Reading and writing could result in death. Can you imagine that if you wanted to read a book or write your own name, that it was illegal? You can die for that. African Americans is the only civilization of people who have had laws that are literally levied against them. Simple laws. Yes, these laws have been taken off the books per se, but it still doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. You can't slap me in the face for 400 years and then tell me to stop feeling the pain because I stopped slapping you. That just don't work that way. So, and again, like I say, I want everybody to learn something new about everybody. Learn about a Black historical figure every day. Learn your history. Learn where you're from. Learn what town your great-grandparents were from. Learn how things were, in their lives. And then that can help motivate you and push you to learn more about yourself as well. All right. Wish everybody have a good day. Have a nice, peaceful, and successful day. Goodbye.